A soul, rock and roots reggae band are in the focus now. Offbeat Intros turns its attention to a London band who are proud of their original UK flavour. I am chatting to Jesse, singer and producer from the band, The Wise Bloods. Hello, sir.
Hello, Andy.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Yeah. I've had a fairly good day. Done a bit of tree surgery and now I'm focusing on some music and chatting to you, so it's good to feel like I'm doing two things in the same day.
There we go. I'm helping you be productive and you're saving my bacon at the last moment because I forgot to organise an interview, so you're amazing. Thank you very much.
Nice one, man. Nice one.
Now this show is all about discovery and it's growing as well, so although I've played some tunes from the Wise Bloods before, which I know that you're aware of, there may be new listeners who haven't caught up with those shows yet, so could you tell me a little bit about the band?
The Wise Bloods is a project that grew out of an old project. I used to be in a band called the Misterons. We're from London, but when we moved to Brighton and became called something called Oyster. Anyway, I tried to retain that band with the drummer and I started the Wise Bloods out of an old song which was Smooth Runner. It kind of had a hip hop feel. And it's when I moved back to London. The thing is, the drummer left and at the time it was going to have a hip hop style to it. So rather than we used to do ska, it became kind of like roots reggae with a bit of hip hop. And a rapper, a friend of mine's little brother was going to rap on one of the songs, and he was murdered about a week before he was going to come into the studio. So instead of him doing the rap, I ended up doing the rap. So rather than being a singer, I started rapping, and that changed the style of the Wise Bloods and made it more of a kind of UK rappy feel, which is moving away from that. But that's kind of what started off the Wise Bloods. It was just this sort of angry version of me, which sounded more like, I don't know, sort of like a Damian Marley style delivery of, a rappy rather than a sing-song type song. So that was the beginning, and I started that band with various members, but that changed, and the Wise Bloods is now its most, probably the final form it will be, unless obviously maybe a couple of people change. But these are the players that I've sort of found along the journey who seem to have really fitted in and made the sound really what it is today, and what it seems to be taking it further and further forward after a lot of grind and hustle and not getting very far. It's now changing. So the band, so this is the new band. Some of them from North, which is Kilburn, Northwest, and I'm from Southeast, which is Deptford. Currently on drums is Jason Gerald Myers, who's actually an electrician. I just find that interesting because he turned up once and put some lights in the back of the van, and it was quite handy. We've got three backing singers at the moment. We've got Makeda Moore, who's kind of the manager of all of them, Kandaka Moore and Nikki Sislin, all highly talented individuals in their own right. So it's kind of a real privilege to have them singing with me. And I have Ryan Gutty Windross, who's on bass. Myself is on rhythm guitars. I haven't missed him to last because actually he's not fully a member now, but Andre Hall, also known as Andre Solid, has been playing keys for us, but he's not a standing member as yet. He's interested, but he plays for big names. He obviously has other things to do sometimes, so currently he's kind of on his way to being a main member, but at the moment he's kind of stands in when he can. And I play guitar and I sing. I'm Jesse McFarlane, or Jesse James McFarlane. And we will have some more members, I believe, in the long run. But at the moment, that's the band that's working as it is.
Let's get into the first track that you want to play then. Would you like to introduce it?
Turn the Tide is the song that I'd like to play. It's a mixture of sort of dub and a UK sort of delivery. It's inspired by actually some grime artists, the way they deliver vocals, which is at the beginning of the phrase rather than at the end. No one's really noticed that, but I think that's an interesting point to point out, being a UK band. And it's the first song that ever was aired on BBC Radio and things like that. So for us, it's a sort of a milestone song. And I love the lyrics. It has a really strong meaning to me, and it feels almost timeless to me because I don't feel embarrassed about the lyrics today. So that's usually a good sign.
So it's Turn the Tide on Offbeat Reggae Radio. Still talking to Jesse from the Wise Bloods. I've previously featured a song or two of yours, as I've mentioned earlier, even shared videos on the Offbeat Reggae Radio social media pages. So I know that you've been doing the odd bit here and there on social media during lockdown. Looking at the rest of the year and into 2021 maybe, what's the plan? I mean, I've spoken to so many musicians and their plans have been turned on their heads. So it's interesting to find out what's going on with the Wise Bloods.
Everyone's going through quite a bit of a challenge at the moment, but I think the most important thing is to turn a challenge into an opportunity. It's trying what we're trying to do. So rather than sort of put our heads in our hands, I've just bought a load of new kit and we're setting up a live stream sort of studio room, which we're going to do regular shows.
Nice.
From our headquarters in South London. So we're going to be providing sort of some interactive entertainment. We've done our first one last Sunday. A few teething issues, but I've sort of rectified those things, and it's a learning process. It's a new area for us. So that's kind of our next step, is just to keep providing more and more people with this sort of constant flow of music. And we're going to have guests on the show, and it's going to just create something that doesn't exist so far, and just keep working and continue with our releasing schedule, which we do have music on the way, but in between that we're going to keep grafting with it, with making a show for people.
The way that songs are released these days and albums has changed a fair bit, and I talked to another artist about this too. It's not a case of just dropping an album, is it? It can actually work out better for you going song by song.
Yeah, especially at the early I mean, if you've got a big powerhouse behind you that's going to promote your album, that might be good. But if you're kind of early on or you're not massive, you might ruin your PR campaign doing an album, and you've just done how many songs, and if you ruin that, you've just wasted a lot of time. So I think it's if you're early in the early stages, it's good to use singles, because not only are you providing people with new stimulus, every now and again, keeping them interested, sort of giving them bits of food, you're also learning and building new relationships every time you release. So it's more time consuming. It may cost a bit more money in terms of PR, but in the long run it costs you less money, because it costs a lot, time and money to make music in the studio. So it's definitely the way forward for people with, now you can use the internet, because if you don't work well and you don't do the right things, you end up peeing in the wind if you just release and don't do the right things, and I've done it myself.
Nice. Okay, well, something that we definitely want to promote is your most recent song. So as you take your swig of beer, because I'm looking at you on the video right now, why don't you introduce it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Soul Rock Reggae is our latest release. It's called Soul Rock Reggae because it's kind of introducing our kind of growing and developing sound. It's keeping some important foundational parts of roots reggae, and then it's bringing the fact that we use some soul, and we use hip hop as well, but soul rock is kind of where I'm going with this other style, which is slightly rough around the edges, but with a soulful feel to it, and the singers also bring a lot of soul to the music. So it's kind of a way of us saying, look, this is our direction and our sound, and it's sort of putting our signature on it by calling it Soul Rock Reggae. The actual meanings behind the song is kind of putting forward our kind of music as like a flagship for the people that we are hopefully representing. If you hear the lyrics, we're talking about maybe if you don't fit in so well in the mainstream world, or you're a free thinker, or certain things like that. We're sort of like, our music and reggae music is for you, so come join our family basically. And I try and put a few truisms, or what I believe are truisms, in the music, and keep a vibe and a groove and get people moving. If that happens, then we've won. So that's Soul Rock Reggae.
So the second song plays from the Wise Bloods on Offbeat Reggae Radio, Soul Rock Reggae. Now, I want to go through places that you want people to check out, places on the internet that you think will be interesting to them. Promote yourself. Get into marketing mode. Go.
Wicked. So we're called the Wise Bloods. So if you find the Wise Bloods on any social media, that will be us. At the moment, we are hopefully trying to get more people subscribed to our YouTube, and obviously join us on Instagram and Facebook also. We are also a member of The Floor, which is basically a subscription / fan club. So thefloor.com, if you can also find the Wise Bloods. We'd appreciate if you do like our music, you at least get in touch with us and say hello. But also, if you do want to make donations or just tell us what you want from us, that also gives us equally value. Just hit us up and follow us and watch our streams, because we're going to be providing some really high quality music. Really great people are going to come join us. So just search the Wise Bloods, find us on all the platforms you use, and connect with us. Don't just follow us, say hello and get the most out of this relationship we can build with you, because that's what we want to do. We want to connect. As you said, it's about discovery and about connections, and really, when people get in touch, just like yourself, it actually pushes us to work harder. So if you don't say hello and you're enjoying it, you're not doing anyone a favor. You need to say hello, because it will help us way more.
Nice. Okay, well, I plan to try and help as much as I can as well by giving you your own page as a featured artist on the Offbeat Reggae Radio website too. Okay, things coming to a close. I gave you the option of a song that you think needs promoting or a major influence. Which one did you choose and why?
A bit of both, actually. Honestly, it's both. I chose Joe Pilgrim and the Ligerians. Their song is Go Down the River. Satonji is a friend of mine who used to be in the band. He used to sing backup and he used to play rhythm with me. And his brother is Joe Pilgrim. It turns out his band and the Ligerians are also known elsewhere, but he and the band are amazing. I love that song. The sound, the style, I think is just flawless. The message, and I'd like to. He knows of me, but we haven't really connected properly. So at some point, it would be good to connect with their French. So it'd be good to connect with them as well. So yeah, absolutely. I think anyone that likes roots reggae music is going to enjoy this, and absolutely, I'd accept these guys. Definitely are an influence in how I approach reggae music.
Nice one. Well, I'll be tagging them when I release the show, so maybe I can make that meeting happen.
Perfect. Good man. Good work.
Even by accident.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I will try my absolute best. Sir, thank you very much for being on the show. You saved my bacon, and it's been really cool talking to you. We're going to play out with your influence tune.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Andy.